Hi everyone. So I made a video before about key sort of spiritual development and developing certain gifts in relation to that. So this video is going to be about the aura, and a lot of people sort of have made a lot of judgment and a lot of ideas onto the aura, sort of what is it, I'm seeing this film sort of thing, and this video is just going to sort of outline my experiences of it, and just sort of what I've seen and sort of my take on it as well. I understand that we all have our points of views and we all have had our different experiences. One very clear thing which I want to make come to light is that whenever you're dealing with something which is extraordinary, meaning it's sort of outside of normal human perception, it's very important to have an open mind, but it's also very important to not let your imagination go rampant and go wild, sort of like a person in a toy shop or whatever, since they've got all these toys, they like me in a games shop or whatever. So it's very important that when you are dealing with this thing, you don't let your imagination go wild, because if you do, then that will sort of lead you astray, because you can't really understand the true, you're going away from the true essence if you're letting your imagination become too entwined in it. And that's why it's always said for these if you're developing a higher mind, if you're just trying to become more wise, it's about turning off that mind. It's not letting that mind rule you, like come up with all these ideas, because okay, you could get a good idea about something, but you could also get bad ideas. Now those good ideas might have a good impact, but those bad ideas might have a very significant long-term impact on your life. So, and a lot of them is just imagination. So whenever you're dealing with these things, when you look at them, you have to take it for what it is, and don't let what your mind wants you to think, don't assume that that's fact, because that's your mind trying to understand it from a point of view of being a normal human, and it's going to come out distorted. A lot of people say, oh, that's a this or that, or that is this or that is that. Don't try and define it. Look at it with your own eyes and see what it is. Now remember, humans have a manifesting power as well. So if you want to see like your grandma, what will happen is the energies will go into a shape of it, and you're almost creating that in a sense, because humans are very powerful. We have very powerful minds which can control. It can move energies around. Okay, so that's a very important thing, is that don't try and make a story out of it. Just see it for the very base thing. So a lot of people, when they become spiritual, they love to jump into it. They love to try and contact spirits. They love to do that sort of thing. And what will happen is they'll likely crash and burn, because what will happen is they'll have that experience, but then they've got no solid inner working. So you've got to be really tactical about the way in which you think. You don't have to be manipulative. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying is you've got to take one step at a time. One step. Don't jump into it. Don't dive in, because then you'll just come out just completely shocked. You're not knowing what's going on, and you'll come into some sort of existential crisis because of it. So what you want to do is go the very base levels. Now I personally believe that if you want to develop spiritual powers, or anyone wants to develop spiritual gifts or just become wiser, they should always start with auras first. Because auras, why? Because auras, there's a lot of scientific basis around it, much more than anything else in spirituality, and it's involving the yourself. First and foremost, if you want to focus on yourself, you can focus on others. If you're an empath, that might be easier for you. But it's not messing around too much with things that you can't really handle. So I've had a lot of people who said, oh, I wanted to become more spiritual, and I tried to talk to a spirit or whatever. That's going too far. If you're not even in key with auras, you shouldn't be really dealing with that thing, because when you come out, you don't know whether to believe it, you don't know what's going on. And I'm not saying it's true, I'm not saying it's not true. What I'm saying is that you should start with auras and go from there, because there's a much more scientific evidence around that, revolving around that, and the experiences are generally better. Like, you can't have a bad experience, it's safe. Like, if you're seeing auras, you can't really have a bad experience. Usually people have bad experiences when they go too far and they feel like they're haunted because they see a ghost or something. But we also have to remember that when other entities manifest in our world, they'll appear in our periphery vision as a shadow moving around. They'll appear in a scary way because they are from a different plane, and that is scary. We experience immediate fear, a lot of us, from that, and we have to overcome that slowly. And the key to that is sort of taking one step at a time. So auras, what are they? They seem to be a almost like an energy surrounding the body. And why are they like that? Mainly because we're alive, and we have this sort of magnetic magnetism around us. That's a lot of what the scientists have said. If you have a look at Kirlian photography, they've taken pictures of the aura, human aura, with gas discharge photography. So you can see some pictures there, and you can see, they made one around I think it was the right forefinger, and they take a picture of the aura around it, and then they get the person to concentrate and then see how the aura changes, and it actually gets stronger. So you do find that there is a human aura. There's even just heat surrounding the body as well, but there's an energy. Now, a lot of people are sort of open to criticism against it, but if you do see it, you're opening yourself up spiritually, because it is there. It's just that we're not trained to see it, because you need to be able to use both hemispheres of the brain. Now, what does it look like? So you basically see, if you're sort of looking at your hand here, you see it's sort of it goes around sort of about 0.5 millimeter around each finger and around the arms. So you sort of see it. Then you might see this, on top of that, you might see this sort of glow as well. So a lot of people talk about 7 sort of layers, but I haven't really seen that, so I'm not going to blindly believe it. I've seen personally about 3 layers, or 3 or 4 layers, and they seem to be of different constructs. Like the one around your finger is like it's like a band, and it's sort of rotating around the body very closely. And I've had experiences where that can, if you able to look at that, you can actually feel much better. Experience health, improvement in health, that sort of thing. So when I have seen it, I have noticed that, witnessed that, is that the health gets better. So there's a band around it to start with, a small band, and then there's sort of a glow around it from what I see. The second sort of part I see is more like a gas surrounding it. It's more like, it looks like more like a heat, rather than the first layer is quite straight, and it's like an outline, literally an outline of the body. And then the second one is more like a gas of that one, and it's easier to see one at a time. So if you're seeing the glow, you'll see the gas too, but if you look at it, then it'll disappear. So a lot of the times you've got to keep your eyes sort of still. You can cross over your eyes so you see two of them, and then relax your eyes like that, and then you sort of got 2 fingers here, and you sort of in between them, and then you see the aura. So that's another technique in which you can do it. A lot of people use their periphery vision, because the middle section of the eyes are often more damaged throughout our lives, because we've always directly looked at stuff, and the outside of mine is damaged. So a lot of people, I find that, I'm walking through a room, and then I see a light there, and go, what the heck? And then I look there, and it's gone. And then I go straight, and I can see it again, and I look there, and it's gone. So the middle of the eyes is more, seems to be less sensitive or something like that, than the outsides. So you got more sensitivity there. And I find that with just normal lights as well. Like if I see like a flashing light or something in the corner of like a post light or something, and I'm sort of looking straight ahead, I can see it, and then I look at it and it's gone, and then I look at it through the side of vision, it comes back, and I open the curtain, and sure enough, there's a lamppost there. So I know that that is true, that we can see things out of the corner of the eyes better. A lot of people have trouble keeping their eyes still, and humans can generally only concentrate for about 20 seconds or so till they lose focus. So a lot of people say, focus on this, just stare at it and just focus, meditate. That's what meditating is. It's training our eyes to be able to, training our brains to be able to just focus still. So with the aura, I generally see it, see my own aura much better than other people's, but I've met other people who see other people's auras but not their own. So I see my own aura, but I don't necessarily, I see other people's if I concentrate for like a minute in public. So if I'm in the shops and I'm sort of, which I don't want to be seen doing this, and then it's, oh yeah, there's the outline there, yeah, so I'm starting to see it now. But with my own, it's usually 5 seconds or so. I'm just, yep, I see it. So it is there. That is a very important thing. So it is there, and what it means, we don't know. There's a lot of theories. They talk about emotional body, all this sort of thing, but don't subscribe to that too much, because again, you're trying to put something into words which we don't really understand. So and that can, blindly believing something can lead you to hit a brick wall, because it becomes too artificial, and then you're like, wait, but this seems like a fantasy. So the thing is that don't feed your imagination, feed the truth. Just follow what's true. I see the auras, so I just focus on that. I don't try to define it too much. I know it's there, and once I see it there, then I move on to something else. Okay, I see auras here. What could that mean? It means that we've just got this electricity or something that we don't understand. Okay, now I go outside and I can see the same aura on the trees as well. They're alive, I'm alive. There's a link there. And the very essence of life. When I have a look at this blade of grass is alive. Everything's alive around me. It's all alive. It's like this bigger picture going on, and I don't understand, but there's something going on. It's deeper. We got these auras, and these things are alive. And for that should be enough for you to sort of awaken, to sort of go, wow, and it just all hits you, and you're reborn from it. You're reborn because you're reborn into the truth about life. And a lot of people are trying to use that. They're trying to say, oh, your aura is this, and they're drawing all these pretty pictures. No, just follow it, look at it yourself, and don't give people money. Don't let people manipulate you. Just have a look for it yourself, and it's there, you see it, and you go, yes, and just think about life, and then open up to it, and try and see more layers of the aura, if it even is in layers. It could just be that the further away you go from the body, it just changes in material, because it's further away, it just changes in electric vibration or whatever. Sometimes I see it as a color, but usually it's clear. I think the colors, when I look at it more, it starts to appear color, and a lot of people say, oh, it changes with your emotions and that sort of thing. I'm not too sure. I personally seen mine. I've seen it a few different colors, and I've also seen I also see that underneath our skin, so that hand that was just there, whatever's underneath the skin seems to be turquoise. Seems to be like a turquoise base aura, and then surrounding that is just the normal auras. And I don't know why I see it as turquoise. I think it's just the way our human eyes have been constructed, and that's the fault, is that we see it as a color, even though it's probably not a color, because that's the best that we can perceive it. So yeah, that's just a short video. I just wanted to say that, have a look at the auras and think about the life, and don't try to define it too much, and don't believe what other people tell you too much. Just sort of see it for yourself. It's there, and you know what you've seen, and a lot of people would doubt it or doubt you or whatever, but really it's just about you coming to terms with life, and then they haven't really come to terms with life themselves. So don't go and believe someone who is not as spiritual as yourself. Don't believe someone who's more closed-minded than yourself, because there is truth out there. and there's truth out there simply because we're alive, and there has to be a meaning for that. So yeah, thanks everyone, and good day.